federal judge who was recommended by Trump own legal team had given the former president lawyer until Friday to confirm the confirm or refute an inventory list of items taken by the FBI agents that were provided by the Justice Department. Desiree Derry, or whatever his name is, ordered in essence demand proof of Trump's claim that some White House file agents, files agents, you know what I'm saying, confiscated at Mar-a-Lago had been planted. It was a claim pointedly not ever made by his attorney. This submission shall be plaintiff's final opportunity to raise any factual dispute as to the complete to the completeness and accuracy of the detailed property inventory that Derry, a former federal prosecutor and U.S. district judge in Brooklyn, New York, said when he issues the order. Trump said he and his family members watched agents search sections of the Mar-a-Lago home and resort with surveillance cameras, raising the question of how the FBI, you know what I'm saying, could have secretly planted evidence at the same time. Two lawyers for Trump were also at Mar-a-Lago during the search, and one signed off on the list of boxes and miscellaneous top secret documents that were removed. It still doesn't prove that Trump had those documents. How can you prove that? When you searched the place and you said that the documents were there, that's hearsay by the FBI and no concrete evidence as to the truth of him having those documents at all. You know what I'm saying? And second of all, like I said before, Trump did not pack the boxes. He did not personally pack the boxes or steal a document. And if he did, you must prove it in court. In a letter written Sunday and made public late Wednesday, Trump team attempted to duck Derry's demand because the special master's case managed plans exceed the grant of authority from the district court on the issue. Plaintiff must object. Trump attorney wrote, but Cannon agreed in her order Thursday, saying Trump attorneys would not be required to confirm the accuracy of the FBI inventory from the Mar-a-Lago before getting a chance to review the records themselves, which only makes sense because that's called what do you call that? Damn, I forgot the name of that law thing where you know what I'm saying, where you have to prepare your case, you know what I'm saying, to show your part of the deal, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to it. So we see where Trump have this on where it should be and how it should be. You know what I'm saying? They need a chance to review, you know what I'm saying, motion of discovery. You know what I'm saying? They need a motion of discovery in order to know what documents did they really say they have. You know what I'm saying? There shall be no separate requirements to the plaintiff this stage prior to the review of any of the seized material, the court appointed order, as we see. So it's on the right track. Here comes bald-headed what ex-clown Obama speechwriter tells demon Democrats the best way to take Trump down. Imagine that, and he waking his eye, giving a little wink, you know what I'm saying? With a point blank, you know, do a little wink, yeah. You know, man, nobody give a flying fuck because what he's gonna say is some bullshit. Talk about this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? What he believes is a surefire way for the Democrats to combat Donald J. Trump. Wow, you're losing that ride there, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Humor is the key. He's wasting people time and the news. Now we see polls show Hoxel, one seemingly insurmountable lead over Zeldin, has vanished. And it should. Because if people is in their right mind and state in New York State, they should be understanding what it is we're dealing with right here, right now. Kathy Hoxel did not show any care for innocent people being killed. She didn't go out to see the people who were being hurt on the subways. She didn't go out to look at nothing. She didn't go to do nothing. She just sit there and talk. You know what I'm saying? Lee Zeldin put boots on the ground, and he was out there with the people, and he's fighting as hard as he possibly can to make this thing happen for New Yorkers. Too many people are falling under the spell of the demon Democrats because black people for many years sit up there and promote this brand, you know what I'm saying, even using the Black Caucus dummies and these civil rights idiots, you know what I'm saying, to do so and change the minds of the young people into a party that is and still is Ku Klux Klan, demon neocons, you know what I'm saying, and still doing garbage to black people as usual, and now using even big tech and many other agencies of so-called what we call, the life of man or woman and children, and using that to manipulate the minds of the people in many ways, such as what we saw happen in 2020 with Komoromorasia. And how he demanded, and then you had Steve Malone, who is Mr. Quiet now, up there talking about blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Take the gummy bears, you know what I'm saying? And saying it very hard, take the gummy bears, you know what I'm saying? And all that garbage, you know what I'm saying? But we see through a lot of the bullshit and what they're doing. And, when we look at it, it's definitely not leading anywhere. It shows garbage like this one coming in from the Associated Press, the TAP, the AP, you know what I'm saying? Violence, a grim sign as targeted killing of police officer raises. You know what I'm saying? We must straighten this out because in the end we're just seeing chaos that's falling upon the minds of the people, and they're not paying attention to anything else. Keep voting Demon Democrat and you're going to get more than your bargain for. You know what I'm saying? Because you know full well that Kathy Hoxel did not do anything to quell the crime. She was soft on crime. She was down with the bill reform, and she also was down with open border policy in 100 days to get to the border. So it was Komoromorasia. And now that you have all these 400 zillion million people that came out of 4.9 million and more coming into the country, now they're sitting on benches everywhere, hanging out, sleeping outside, and it's getting cold. And they did some one of the most chaotic, unhumanitarian garbage I've ever seen, such as the so-called the screaming of the women over there crossing the border being snatched by these savages and pedophilias and all kinds of rape going on, and Kamala Harris went down there to hear the screams of those little girls, like, you know what I'm saying? And I bet you she got children and a mother. Imagine that. But you didn't go down to the border to hear them screams at night when night fall and them people is crossing and them savage beasts is out there snatching the people and raping and doing all kinds of garbage because all they care about is making money every day. You know what I'm saying? The latest poll results. New poll shows Hoxel, one seemingly insurmountable lead, Zeldin, has vanished. And it should. Because if people have any rightful mind, you must stand up for New York. Hoxel did not do that. Neither did Mayor Eric Q. Ball, Greasy Head Adams. He didn't do jack either. They all sat up there and allowed it to go on, such as what we saw all over. You know what I'm saying? Even in New Blade and the different children that was hurt by this garbage. You know what I'm saying? And it turn out to be sometimes putting these kids' lives in a political stunt. It doesn't make any sense. It needed people to be out there to protect these children because, like I said, in New Blade, my child could have been in that school. So I'm not joking around with the demon Democrats and the garbage they do. You know what I'm saying? I might be one individual, but so what? Because real men stand up to protect their neighborhood and their people. It doesn't matter what we go through relationship wise with women and different stuff, but as long as we're there to protect the women and the children as well, and we keep it neutral, that we keep a very good understanding overall. This way of us separating the man and the woman is a demon, democratic, or blood-clad demon, Ku Klux Klan, bullshitical, Willie Lynch piece of garbage. That's how they got a lot of people to follow behind these demons. You see? And we must quail this. I call on my ancestors to protect I and I in full range. You know what I'm saying? But fact check, Trump responds to the January 6th committee subpoena with unusual election lies. Who gives a flying fuck? You still haven't proved that he's guilty of anything other than a lot of hearsay talk, a bullshit committee, and garbage. Now we see another one coming in from the street. Mark Zuckerberg acknowledged a big mistake. Yeah, him owning Facebook, and a nutcase at that. That's the mistake that he made, and even being a CEO and citing his pedophile looking self with creepy Joe Biden, talking about he's also big tech and also blocking people comments, talking about misinformation and disinformation. Mark Zuckerberg gets no love from me. I don't want to hear nothing about his big mistake, and he can carry on with his greasy ball looking retarded self. Texas sheriff declares migrants flow by DeSantis to Martha Vineyard was a criminal. No, it was not. What was a crime was an open border policy and letting 44.9 million people in this country, like this country is so big. And you're going to feed them everything and give us and destroy anything that we were fighting for based on the black experience in this country is what you seem to be doing to me. You know what I'm saying? So you're bringing in all these people, but you think that Trump's saying drop the criminals off in your backyard. So you drop them off. Where did you drop them off? Didn't you drop them off in Greg Abbott's backyard and so-called Ron DeSantis? So they wasn't supposed to go past Texas and Florida. So he was to destroy them because they're Republicans and they were down with Trump. Ha, ha, ha. But now they're in your backyard, which you probably wanted anyway. You know what I'm saying? And you got them here and this and that and the third. And why is you not doing the most you can for the poor people that was at Penn Station, the poor people that is living in LA in the cardboard boxes, the poor people that living on the west side of there in New York, and taking up whole blocks, you know, sleeping outside in the cold and all this different garbage. You ain't saying nothing about none of that shit. But you telling Trump about some bullshit about him telling to drop these criminal rapists and so forth in your backyard. You drop them in the United States, you demon Democrat blood-sucking idiot. Talking about deep state, there it is. There it is. You know what I'm saying? But we see Congress ask Secret Service for an account of all contacts between agency oath keepers up to the January 6th. Man, nobody give a flying fuck about no oath keepers and all that bullshit garbage you running. Also, we don't want to hear that. We got bigger problems than you sitting up there accusing somebody of some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like that war in Ukraine. And you back in the war and taking all our money and doing this. You know what I'm saying? But we don't see none of our money coming to our pocket. But we see you up there, you know, talking about some goddamn war. And you want to push the Russians out. This is what you're trying to do. You're trying to push the Russians out, and they ain't supposed to be a nation. They're supposed to crumble under your demon democratic one world order bulls here. And you're supposed to go World War III, and then after the World War III, you're going to have the one world order bulls here. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, you have black people been voting for you for years and supporting you and all that. And there's the same people who created the Ku Klux Klan who's still hanging black people today in the South and doing garbage to black people, and you won't want to vote for their Democratic Party because remember there was no Republican Party. You know what I'm saying? That came along later on when 150 black men stood up along with 12 Anglo-Saxons as said in the report and the historical bow that they stood up at a critical time where they could have been killed, shot, robbed, hanged, you know, massacred, whatever, by these demons and blood-clad whitewashing fools. You know what I'm saying? So we know we see the shit going on, you know what I'm saying, around here. You know what I'm saying? We see an Arizona woman gets 30 days in jail for collecting full ballots. Here we go with the cheating down there in Arizona. That's where DMX ran to. And then he said he saw the devil. What country? What country are we in? Biden slams Idaho school denying students access to contraceptives and criticized cases of girl 14 who couldn't get medicine because the Arizona abortion ban. He's lying. This again is wordplay. This is wordplay. Even though she wasn't pregnant, she's lying. All this is all demon Democratic political trickery. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He criticized, you know what I'm saying, a case of a girl, 14. Yeah, we go with that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Who couldn't get medicine because the Arizona abortion ban. He's using that abortion ban. That's not going to save America if somebody shoot a nuclear weapon at us. We need to wake up from this dust-head fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? But we see MyPillow CEO is under federal investigation for potentially ties to Colorado election security breach. That's bullshit, and you know it. Not a wordplay. North Carolina County warns of very aggressive people impersonating election officials. Here go the cheating as we get closer and closer to 2024, and all kinds of people running here. We see a Wyoming ranch was accused of forced child labor. It just suddenly closed. So after a Wyoming ranch was caught doing forced child labor, you know what I'm saying, it packed up and closed. They've been doing this for years. The demon Democrat blood clot, racist, pedophilia, you know what I'm saying, sex trafficker, child molester, and all kinds of garbage did it so in our government. We tired of you. We tired of you. We see Trump sign orders for immediate large-scale troop withdrawal from Afghanistan after the election loss. He didn't sign garbage. Whether he signed it or not, he said he was going to bring the troops from there. You know what I'm saying? This lands solely on Biden's administration. He's lying again. And Mr. Kingsinger, whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying, ain't nothing but a stooly, dumb-looking, lead-head fool. If you look at him, he look like a dick. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to ask him one day, write a letter to him and say, can I call you dick? You know what I'm saying? Realtors apologize for the past discrimination.